Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the stream today. Let's go ahead and get straight into the action here. So we have the S&P 500 obviously moving lower today, and the market really seems like it's crashing, guys. I mean, we moved from highs of 479 or 480 all the way down now to lows of 392 this morning. So definitely a huge move to the downside. Thank you guys for joining up. George, B Square, Hunter, good morning, everybody. You guys have any stocks you want me to look at? As you know, throw them in the comments. But for right now, the main thing I'm going to be watching is this SPY. It's really moving lower today, and I hate to see price action moving this far to the downside, especially in pre-market like this, down to 388. Ever since we fell below 400, we've been kind of accelerating ever since the end of the day yesterday. So hopefully this doesn't keep happening, and I really hope that the market can start to come back here. You know, obviously there's a lot of stocks moving down right now, and it's very unfortunate to see all of these stocks down this much. One of them I noticed this morning that really dipped with earnings was Beyond Meat from last night. So they got destroyed straight up. They fell from $26 all the way down to lows of 19. So they got extremely low last night, and they continued a little bit lower even this morning. So it was definitely rough. Thank you guys for joining up again. Mike, good morning. Kenya, Jamie, Vicky, thank you guys for joining here. But yeah, lots of stocks are still moving down. Unfortunately, General Motors is another stock that's down a lot. It's down 4.5% today, almost at the bottom of my watch list here, just above ASTR, which is almost down to $2. You know, some of these space stocks are almost like penny stocks now. You know, poor Astra has been getting destroyed. Look at this daily chart of them. I feel kind of bad for anyone who's been investing in Astra, RKLB, SPCE. I mean, you can see all of these space stocks are just getting utterly destroyed right now. So it's definitely rough there. But yeah, lots of stocks moving down. Asana is down 4% again, and these growth stocks are continuing to make new lows, it looks like. This is just terrible movement. Oh man, Disney fell down to $100 last night. Initially on their earnings, it was holding up pretty well, but you know, they did end up falling off down around $100 again, so that's not good. Mike says, I'm so lucky I don't live near a bridge. I'm ready to jump. Yeah, you know, I feel you there, Mike. Don't jump though. You know, no stocks are worth anything that drastic. But yeah, I definitely feel you though for sure. You know, these poor stocks like DraftKings. Oh man, they're almost down to $10 even here. They went down to $10.02. Man, I bet if we just watch this for a couple minutes, we're gonna see poor old DraftKings here move under $10. It's gonna be a little bit unfortunate. Who knows? Maybe we'll hit $10 and there'll be a nice like wall there. Maybe DraftKings will start to, you know, have a nice bounce back up like off support or something. That could be really cool if that happens. But man, I'm not betting on this one today. Hey, good morning, Sean. He says AAL's going. Let's go see that. AAL, American Airlines. Wow, it's not going the way I was hoping, Sean. You know, it's moving down. It's obviously almost down 3% now. That is terrible. American Airlines, I'm sure Delta. I'm sure all the airlines are down. Let's see, Delta, Southwest. Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, this is, guys, we are seeing unprecedented selling pressure here. I mean, we haven't seen this type of selling since, pretty much since the COVID crash. So, pretty bad to see us moving down this much. You know, one stock I will say, though, guys, that is catching my eyes to the upside this morning is Rivian, believe it or not. I can't believe it, but look at this. Rivian is actually moving to the upside. I cannot believe my eyes right now and what I'm witnessing. I'm going to have to actually get a nice article here for Rivian's earnings because this is actually pretty good. Like, I'm not going to, you know, hit them too hard. This isn't terrible. Let's go see here. I'm sure they have some nice numbers with their earnings. I actually haven't analyzed their earnings too much. I know like Lucid's were pretty bad last week, but it looks like they say demand remains high while production's on track. So initially that sounds great. Their first quarter loss was narrower than Wall Street expected, so that's good. They have 90,000 pre-orders, including 10,000 new orders since a March price increase. So that's pretty good. I know that these Rivian trucks have been talked about a lot, and some people have started to see them on the road a little bit. So that's kind of nice to see that they reported that their production is going as planned. They also said they're going to ramp that up, obviously, which is good. What's awesome is that they confirmed that they're going to make 25,000 vehicles this year, which I think that's great numbers compared to like what Lucid had, for example. I think so far this year, Lucid only had like 300 vehicles produced at all, and that's for the whole year total so far. And this company is expecting 25,000 total, so that's going to be pretty big. I mean, I know they still have like 6 or 7 months to go, but still, I mean, I think that's a pretty good look here for Rivian. I don't mind that too much. It does look like, their loss per share came in slightly less, which was good. Obviously that's good. Their revenue, though, did miss by quite a bit, believe it or not. It came in at 95 million versus 130.5 million expected. So that's definitely rough there. I mean, that's not good to see. But the good news is that they still have their reservations and they're upping production. So I guess that's the main news moving Rivian up today. But lots of stocks are down and Rivian's starting to move up a little bit. So I'll definitely take that as far as the price action goes today. But yeah, I'm getting in some of these other plays here. It does look like, as far as stocks in the green, typical stocks that have been moving up lately, like Pfizer, Triple M, Pepsi is slightly green. We have Walmart and Target kind of coming back up a little bit. Nothing too crazy as far as the price action, but they are up in the green. Besides those stocks, though, everything else is just about running to the downside, like Square, Zoom, like we talked about earlier, Robinhood, and just a whole plethora of stocks. It's pretty bad today, guys, to say the least. It's always rough when you see stocks running down this much. Bravo says, can you guys look at Disney? Where's Disney heading short term? 93 support or lower? Let's go check that one out. Yeah, actually, I will say Disney seems like it is holding right around $99 to $100 in a pretty good way. I'm not saying that this is the exact bottom here, Bravo, but $100 is going to be a huge psychological level on Disney. So I really hope that they can hold their ground and then start to maybe go back up here over the next couple weeks. I will say I didn't mind Disney's numbers that bad. They actually had good Disney Plus subscriber numbers, which was great. Although I did see that some of their other numbers were down in the negatives. Let's actually look at some of those really, really quickly here. If I still have the chart. Yeah, it looks like I actually don't have the chart for Disney's earnings anymore, but I will say I remember their Disney Plus subscription numbers came in a lot higher than expected, actually. And then their parks revenue came in decently high, but overall their revenue wasn't the best and stuff, which is probably why they're moving down. But I will say those subscription numbers were very nice to see, especially considering everything that we saw with Netflix. But I will say $100 is going to be big for Disney here. I hope it holds here, but if it does move lower than 100, I think you're right, Bravo. I think $93 is a pretty good next support level. Honestly, though, if it breaks below 100, I think we might be retesting those COVID lows, maybe at 80 or, maybe somewhere around $90 even or something. But, who knows? The market's been crazy lately. Hopefully we bounce at 100 and then we don't even have to worry about it. But I'm not sure that 100 is going to hold up all throughout the day here. Corner says Dutch Bros got smashed to smithereens. Man, that's rough there. Peter says blood in the water today in the markets and Twitter is selling hard. USA government is investigating his trades. Yeah, that's still huge, Peter. Good call out. I know that Elon's really getting investigated. You can see Twitter stock is really selling off here. And Hindenburg put out that report the other day. And ever since they put out their report, their stock has just been falling off to the downside in a pretty crazy way. I just cannot believe that their stock's falling down this much. Hindenburg said that the deal might get scrapped and that they might restructure the deal so Elon doesn't have to pay as much for the company. But, with all these investigations and stuff going on, I'm not too confident right now either way. It would definitely be tough to buy Twitter. If I was a buyer of Twitter right now, I'd be very scared for the next couple weeks. So I'm definitely holding off on Twitter personally, but that's crazy. Let's see. Bravo says, one question in terms of rebounding, which ETF tends to bounce back faster, SPY, NASDAQ, or IWM? So good question there. So it really just all depends on which sectors fall down at the given time. So you can see the Russell, for example, really snapped back and flew up a lot higher in the shorter term there with COVID. And then the SPY obviously was flying up and just continued slow and steadily throughout the whole year. And then we can see, Dow or DIA, they were also slow and steady. But you can see the QQQ, for example, though, was a lot quicker and moved up a lot faster. So, in my opinion, I would say the NASDAQ Bravo bounces back the fastest, with IWM right behind that. But I will say, like, the SPY goes up more slow and steadily along with the Dow. Those ones are a little bit better. I will say, like, the S&P 500 or the SPY is pretty good. It's not too slow. It's a very good mixture, I believe, of slower moving stocks and like bigger tech stocks. So I think that's a really good one to get into. But either way, I think QQQ would be the one that bounces up faster, especially given that a lot of stocks down are tech stocks. So I feel like that if a lot of these tech stocks start rebounding really quickly, then the NASDAQ obviously will dominate, to whereas the S&P 500, they have like bank stocks and other stuff like that still in the mix. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I think QQQ would be the best one. Square says getting close to correction level 83 for the SPY. Let's see. So for us to be a correction, I guess it's 383 is the technical number there. So that's good. Bravo says, is PPI data good today? Let's check that out. I'm sure that'll be the headline here on CNBC today. Yeah, let's see. Wholesale inflation rose 11% in April as producer prices keep accelerating. So doesn't sound good. Looks like they are accelerating up. I would say that's not good, Bravo. If anything, that's worse. Just keep in mind that, maybe it's not flying up as much as people expected. But I will say, like, so far, the data over the past couple days with the CPI data, now the PPI data, it's not good to see it accelerating quicker, and it's still going up. So that's the main thing that is a negative there. I think it's a bad thing for the markets personally. But either way, I know other people like digest news in different types of ways, but still, I would think that's a negative factor. Kind of like how the CPI data was a negative factor yesterday. It just seems like the inflation is just getting worse and worse, and hopefully eventually we'll start to see these numbers come in under, like expectations rather than flying up. But, it's going to be a tough next few weeks, obviously, as more data comes out, because, the data lately has played a huge role in the markets, like the CPI, just inflation data in general, even GDP numbers and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be analyzed. And, that's what Powell and the Feds are doing. They're always analyzing those numbers, and that's why they always make such big decisions based off of certain things like inflation and CPI data and, different data points like that. But Square says, is 383 a good bounce in the short term? Let's see. It's going to be tough. I mean, 383, it's a tough level there. Let me look on the max daily chart. We have to go back pretty far, actually, to find out the next support levels on SPY, because we haven't been at these levels in like years. 383 will probably be a pretty good next level to look at. Right after that, 380 obviously will be the next one, but I think 383 will be a pretty decent support, Square. And I think that if we get down to that today, I think that will be a decent bounce. But keep in mind, if we move down to 383, the SPY will be looking pretty brutal. We'll continue down all throughout the day, and there'll definitely be a pretty big sell-off coming in. So keep that in mind. But I think 383 could hold up. Just, always take that with a grain of salt, Square. Like, if you maybe always make sure you see like confirmation, kind of like how, 395 or like 395.50 was like a really good support here. So you can see there was multiple bounces, and you kind of have to like wait for some confirmations, because sometimes it'll kind of move through there in weird ways, especially through times of volatility like we're seeing now. But what I am noticing with the SPY, guys, is that it is kind of popping back up here, at least over the past like 5 minutes or so. So that's interesting to see. The IV's running up too. So maybe we'll see a bit of like a recovery here with the SPY. That would definitely be cool. Cool to see today. I know, like, so far the SPY has been extremely volatile this morning, and it's been slowly selling off, but who knows? Maybe we'll try to have a recovery. That could definitely make for some nice price action once again. But on my watch list, stocks seem like they're just getting worse and worse. General Motors, we talked about earlier, right at market open, it's just continuing to move lower today. It's definitely not consolidating too much and just continuing to run down. Looks like Sunrun is also falling off down to 1680 at the lows. That is a very bad thing to see for them. I know they've been another stock that's been really dying. They've been really breaking below this key $20 support lately, and now that they're falling down to 17, that IV is also shooting sky high up to 135% now on run. So, wow, I can't believe the moves that we're seeing out of these stocks. Tesla even, guys. Look at Tesla here. Tesla today broke the recent support at $700. That is a huge level. Look at Tesla's IV up around 100% now. I know Mike and Hunter put out an amazing video about Tesla's valuation a couple weeks ago. And look at Tesla. It's just continuing to sell off here and get destroyed along with these other growth stocks. And I feel like that some of these other growth plays might have been giving us a bit of an insight into how some of these other stocks were going to move, like Facebook, Netflix, Tesla. Like they're all starting to fall off. It's rough to see. And a lot of these stocks were bigger stocks that people kind of thought that they couldn't fall off. But, this type of movement always happens in the market. In my opinion, it's just normal price action. Like look at Tesla's chart. Even though it's down to 700, in my opinion, I think Tesla could fall down to 600 or even lower. I mean, look at their chart over the past like 10 years or 5 years even. It's insane. And from the COVID low around $75 to where we're at today, Tesla's still up 820%. I mean, guys, that is insane. 820% still. Yeah, I mean, I think they still have room to fall. Even if they go down to 600 over like a 5-year basis, they'll still be up over 700%. So that is insane. And like I said, on a 5-year basis, let's go to like the low down here, somewhere like right around like 35, and let's see that percentage. Yeah, 1800%. So it's just the growth has been insane. Normally, when you see high growth like that, it always gives some gains back eventually, and I'm guessing that's it's Tesla's time to do that. They're going to come back down to somewhat of a normal valuation. And, they might not get to a perfect valuation or anything like that, but they're definitely falling off in a big way. And, like they said in their videos, there was a lot of bad factors that have been hitting Tesla too. They have high costs and everything like that. And it's just, it's been rough for them. But yeah, it looks like they're coming down with the rest of the market, but they are trying to pop back intraday. I'll give them that. Nothing too crazy there, but they're trying to come back. Bravo says, B Square won't be surprised if we go to 360. Yeah, I won't either, to be honest, on SPY. I could see SPY falling off pretty largely here. 380 was a pretty big level that I was looking at the end of last week, but I didn't really think that was attainable this week. But, as of right now, it might be. I mean, who knows? That's pretty low. Let's see 360 down there, though, because that is getting pretty steep. Yeah, 360 is a pretty big support there. But I will say, if we get down to 360, it'll be a pretty brutal sell-off starting to happen. So hopefully we don't do that. I will say, look at the 1000 SMA, though. You can see the 1000 SMA right here is pretty cool. So you can see whenever we had the China crash with the SPY, the SPY fell right down to that 1000 SMA and then started getting bought up right on that. Now, I'm not saying the 1000 SMA is perfect, but I'm just saying in that scenario, with that China crash, it did just happen to play out that way. You can see right here, the touch was like almost perfect. So that's cool to see with that. Then whenever we had the COVID crash, we flew through the 1000 SMA. But what's interesting is that after we flew through the SMA during the COVID crash, you can see that we then retested it on the way up, which was very interesting. And then once we started breaking back above it, it kind of made for a nice bullish breakout type of trade right above that 1000 SMA. So what I'm kind of waiting for here is what I'm noticing is that during whenever the market has these big pullbacks, like we saw with the China crash, and then like we saw with the COVID crash, of course, I've noticed that usually the 1000 SMA ends up coming into play. So what I'm kind of looking at here is maybe the SPY is going to fall down to maybe like you guys said, right around that 360 support, maybe 350. And at that time, maybe that'll be right around that 1000 SMA. So I'm gonna really look for like a nice drop, like you guys said, maybe 380 is my first target, but then after that, 360 is pretty good, and then after that 350. But those are the levels I'm eyeing up here, and there's some pretty big technical patterns going on and playing out in a good way right now, especially on the SPY here. Like you can see it, they've just been continually breaking below and confirming off of key trend lines. Like right here on the chart where I'm moving my cursor was a huge confirmation off of a trend line, and then we moved directly to the downside. Same thing right here where my cursor is. That was another huge confirmation, and then once again right here where my cursor is, after Powell spoke a couple weeks ago or last week, that was another huge confirmation because the SPY had that huge green day, ran right up into that trend line and resistance, and then got rejected right there. So for some reason, the technicals are playing out perfectly lately with the SPY. I don't know why that is, but either way, I'll take it. The charts have been playing out pretty well, and in my opinion, I think we're going to continue to see more sell-offs like you guys are talking about. Trading Lifestyle says a magical recovery up is happening right now for no reason. So yeah, it kind of is. You can see the SPY is just kind of coming up a little bit. Keep in mind though, guys, that even though we're seeing a little bit of a recovery, the market moved down so much in pre-market that it's rough. So that's tough to see. Slick says, good morning, Mike and Tom. Shout out Hunter. Don't text and drive. LOL. Yeah, definitely don't text and drive. I know sometimes it can be really hard to text and drive too. You might like fly out of your lane and stuff like that. So definitely don't text and drive. But yeah, good morning. Shout out to Hunter for sure. Definitely go check out that valuation video on the Stocked Up channel about Tesla if you guys are interested. It came out a couple weeks ago, so definitely check that out. I think it was about 37 minutes long. But yeah, I know that it goes over pretty much everything with Tesla, everything with their fundamentals and everything like that. But yeah, today the SPY's still looking brutal, guys. It was recovering up a little bit. We had Tesla also trying to pop back up ever so slightly. We're now back above $700, which is kind of nice to see. If you guys are looking at any specific stocks, let me know in the comments. Of course, I'll throw them up on the chart. But one I noticed that's green is Roblox, actually. So this is kind of cool. I know that they were moving pretty well yesterday with their earnings, and so far this morning, Roblox is moving up in a pretty good way once again. So hey, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it over the selling pressure that we're seeing out of a lot of other stocks like DraftKings, other stocks like that are still down in the red, especially some of these chip stocks like poor old AMD, Nvidia. Stocks like that are really selling off. Look at Boeing, actually. Boeing's down to $123, guys. Look at the Boeing chart. Oh my gosh, this is brutal for Boeing. Look at this. Ever since earnings, I mean, this 1 hour chart is very telling here. We were at just a month ago. So let's see, what's the date? We have May 12th. So on April 13th, we were sitting at like $183 a share at the highs that day. Now we're at $124. Oh my gosh, this is terrible for good old Boeing. I can't believe they're this low. Man, Mike, if you're watching the stream, I remember you had that legendary trade with Boeing where you bought them at the bottom at like $100 a share that one time, and then they flew right up and you made like a super quick gain on it. Looks like you might get that opportunity again, to be honest. This is looking brutal here. So, wow, they are really blasting below like that 150 support even and everything. I mean, this is talk about a brutal chart, guys. This is very bad. And I will say, it could have been expected with Boeing, like honestly, they've had a lot of issues. There's like been plane crashes, there's been production issues, there's been countries like, for example, like recalling planes because of crashes and canceling orders, and man, the list goes on and on with Boeing. And now you have like these military conflicts going on, and I'm sure that don't help them. So it's just it's getting brutal for them. But wow, that is a terrible looking chart with Boeing. I cannot believe that. That is very rough. Slick says, okay, I'm stopped now at the light. What's the QQQ doing? Oh, you're texting and driving, Slick. I didn't realize that. How dare you? That's bad. You just said that was bad. But yeah, here we go. So QQQ, let's see. So bouncing off the 285 support, actually slick. It's not looking too terrible here. We are recovering up in the short term. It looks like some of these bigger plays, like Apple, trying to come back a little bit. Microsoft has some green. Um, some stocks are coming back. I saw Walmart had some green along with Target. So I know they're not going to really influence the QQQ too much, but Tesla had that big recovery coming up. That's probably pretty big for them. So wow, that's pretty big actually, Slick. So yeah, QQQ, I like it today. It's not looking too bad off this bottom support of 285. I would not be surprised if the SPY and the QQQ started to consolidate to go slightly back up. I mean, like, look at the selling pressure this week. It's been moving to the downside in a pretty big way. So like if we came up and tried to retest maybe like 292 or 295, I wouldn't be too surprised. Like honestly, I think that would just be normal price action. And I still think the market can go down next week, even if we do maybe have a couple of nice green days here. But yeah, so that's what the QQQ is doing, kind of bouncing off support. Honestly, it's going all over the place. It's now coming back down though. So it was holding up, but now we have this big red candle on the 1 minute. So, yeah, it's all over. I would say I'm still slightly bearish here. Yeah, Easy Rider, I'm still soloing today. I've been soloing actually for the past week or so, and yeah, Mike's been really busy trying to get some stuff done for the Discord and for everything like that. So he'll be back though eventually, but as of right now, I'm kind of taking over the live streams in the morning, but yeah, so definitely soloing. Peter says, approaching COVID lows. Rivian recalls 502 trucks over airbag issues. Wow, did they? I mean, they're still flying up pretty well. It's pretty good to see them still moving up this morning. Let me see the Thinkorswim news tab here. Yeah, I do see that. That is a pretty bad piece of news, Peter. Looks like that came out only like 4 minutes ago. I wonder if that will negatively affect their stock. It looks that's all we need, guys. Companies that are having issues with production starting to recall more trucks. That's all you need. Yeah, here's the headline though. Recalling 502 electric trucks over potentially faulty airbags. Rivian says in regulatory filing that defect poses risk to children in front seat. So that definitely sounds bad. Yeah, here we go. The Wall Street Journal also just put out a report of this happening as well. So that's definitely not good. And as they said, it can cause injury to some children. So let's see. The recall covers 2022 Rivian R1T pickups built between late September of 2021 and early April 2022 at the company's factory at Normal, Illinois, the filing said. So yeah, definitely not good there. I wonder if they'll start to fall back down here. It looks like there was a red candle like right around when the news came out. So yeah, I wonder if that's going to come into play today or not, Peter. That's going to be a pretty big piece of news to look at today for sure, especially with Rivian. I mean, I'm sure that's going to maybe even bleed into Lucid. Lucid's trying to pop back up a little bit, but if Rivian starts falling back down, I would not be surprised if Lucid also started moving back. That's just how the game goes, and sometimes these stocks just like to move in sympathy. You can see kind of like this morning, Lucid's doing okay so far. But I will say, guys, one other stock that is getting brutalized is AMC again. They are back down to they're actually below $10 now today. Yesterday during the stream they were approaching $10, and man, now they are actually below it. So I hate to see this movement with AMC. Look at this on the daily. I mean, this is going to be extremely rough here. You can see they are falling under $10, and just look at how far we're starting to move below these key supports. Like there was a big support right around $13, and we are just blasting below this in a major way. I mean, this is wow, guys. I mean, it's getting terrible out there for AMC, for Beyond Meat, General Motors, SoFi. I mean, it's a terrible day in the market for a lot of growth plays again. It's definitely rough. Even some of these oil plays like Oxy. Look at the way they're falling down. They're almost back down to this support of like $57. 57 is actually held up pretty well for Oxy over the past couple days. If we break below 57, I think we might see a bit more of a sell-off here. And looking at Oxy on the daily chart, I mean, this is such a weird setup Oxy's in. Like look at this weird, like, just, it's such a weird setup, guys. And it like tried to break out recently and then got rejected again. Now we're moving right back down after earnings. You would maybe think that Oxy would be doing better with earnings, given that obviously given that oil prices are so high, like you would think they'd be doing better. Kind of like their stock was suggesting on their last earnings report where they blasted up. But you can see like this time, they reported pretty negative EPS. Like they reported a 0.15 in the negative compared to a 1.972 estimate. So that's a pretty big miss there, obviously. And wow, that is the way that some of these sell-offs are happening, guys, are just insane. Even like Enphase today, selling off in a huge way. But obviously, guys, like it looks like puts are the way to go right now. If you guys are day trading and stuff, obviously, if I were you, I would be leaning to the put side on a lot of these stocks. Like even Facebook, like unfortunately, they just keep getting destroyed and falling off. So at some point, you have to make the switch. Let's see, Asana. Asana's down around $18 now. It looks like Moskowitz's billion-dollar buying, his billion-dollar buying that he was doing back there hasn't really helped too much. So I don't know. What's going on with Asana here, but yeah, their IV's up to 150% with all the craziness going on too. So that's insane. Bravo says I bought some stocks: Disney, Apple, and V. Just a few. I think Apple can go back to 120, but I'll add a lot more by then. So let's go check that out real quick, Bravo. So Apple, yeah, it's down in a major way today. I mean, that's down 4% now, and it was trying to come back a little bit earlier, but now we're all the way back down to this low of 140. This is a huge sell-off. And guys, I want to bring this up because this is very important to look at for the overall market. We have to keep in mind that stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and stocks like that have the biggest market caps out there. So to see those stocks falling off in the way that they are over the past month or so, it's just so terrible, and it's going to be dragging down, obviously, like the S&P 500, as we've been seeing, and other things like that. And I really believe that this sell-off is not over anytime soon. I believe that this can continue for a few more weeks at least. So be on the lookout, guys, but this is getting terrible. It's almost a falling knife now, actually, on Apple. And honestly, I think Apple, let's actually check this out. So Apple during COVID fell down around 34%. They're getting pretty close to that now. They are approaching from the high to that low there, somewhere close. They're at like 23%. If they get down to 120, that'll be right at the drop they had during COVID percentage-wise. So wow, Bravo, that's going to be big down there around 120. I think I could see 120 happening as well, especially since we're breaking 140. It seems like every time there's a move between 120 and 140, there's a big 20-point swing either way. So I'll definitely be watching for a nice breakdown towards 120 if 140 doesn't hold up. It looks like 139 could end up being a pretty decent support too. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, if you guys are interested in any stocks, definitely let me know in the comments. There's lots of movement happening today in the market. Lots of growth stocks are getting beaten down along with chip stocks and other stocks like that. Poor old AMD today, right at market open, just got utterly destroyed. I mean, look at this move to the downside. This was my free day trade today. I will say I called this one out, and I've been calling it out on my free day trades in the Discord for the past few days. I had it if it fell below 85.38 that I could see a big move to the downside, and we're seeing that. And guys, something just happened with Twitter. There is a big red candle to the downside on the 5-minute. We just had, wow, Twitter just posted a 2.3% downwards move within this one 5-minute candle, guys. I don't know what just happened with Twitter on the news here, but definitely let me know, because this is, wow, guys, Twitter is falling. This is brutal on this 5-minute candle. I cannot believe how low they just fell here. Wow, something must have just happened. I can't wait for the news to come across. Maybe we have something in like the popular news tab here on the Discord. Let's see. Nothing yet, but I do suspect that we are going to see something here in just a little bit. Yeah, Hondo says, what do you have as support on Tesla in the Discord? Yeah, definitely let me know in the chat here, Hondo. But yeah, Tesla's right around 700, so that's probably a decent level in the short term. But wow, I mean, Twitter, guys, that was a brutal past 5 minutes. I don't know what happened here, but I mean, it started to really sell off to the downside. I had it up on a separate monitor, and the monitor just started dancing around for a while. I was like, whoa, like I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, whoa, this is a huge move. But wow, I mean, that is that's terrible, guys. Can't believe that's happening with Twitter. Looks like Tesla though is holding its ground, kind of close to like 680 at the low today, trying to pop back up above 700. So good thing it's not falling down like Twitter. But man, guys, that was a brutal sell-off there. I wonder if there was some big news behind this, or if Twitter's just having some normal price action or what. But that is a pretty big thing that we saw there with Twitter just now. That is a pretty big move. So definitely keep Twitter on the radar, guys. It looks like it might keep going down. Yeah, Peter, I know you were talking about this the other day. You were talking about Twitter going down over the past few days, and wow, I hope it's paying off for you today. I think you said you had some puts on it maybe, but definitely let me know in the chat. I can't remember if you had any or not. Let's see. Bravo says, hey, what would you rather buy if you had the chance? Buy low or buy high? Buy on the way down or on the way up, assuming we could potentially bounce back. So Bravo, in my opinion, I would rather buy on the way down. In the past, I've been very successful buying on the way down before, like on the COVID crash. I did pretty well on some stocks on the way back up, like Intel, other stocks like that. Like I'll go back to the COVID crash. You can see how big that crash was there. You know, I was buying up like stocks like Intel, and they recovered really quickly, and a few other stocks, like I think like I had LEGG or LEG. Yeah, LEG, Leggett and Platt. I bought this one, and they recovered up too. You can see, wow, look, I actually, this is funny, guys. Look at this. I actually still have a drawing from back at the COVID low on LEG. I believe I bought it like somewhere like right around here. But, I like to buy Bravo more of like on the way back up. I don't like to necessarily keep buying on the way down. I do like to wait to see some nice technical patterns on the chart. So I don't just buy based on, numbers and everything like that. I do like to see good technical movement, kind of like with leg. SPY was kind of like moving well on that 1000 SMA too. So that was kind of good to see them breaking out up above that, kind of like we talked about at the beginning of the stream. So I like to look at a lot of other indicators too, but I will say mostly I like buying on the way back up. But yeah, I definitely, that's a good question because it's always hard, but I will say like right now with stocks going down, it's probably best to just wait out the storm. If there's a few stocks that you really, really like, then I think that maybe buying on the way down will be a good way to go. Just keep in mind, make sure that you average in. Like, don't go all in right here because, if the SPY falls down to 350, then you can average in a little bit more. Same thing goes for like Apple and stocks like that. Like if you really, really like them, you can buy some at 140, but make sure you don't buy too much because the chances of it going down are really high right now, given all the selling pressure and given everything going on in the market with rising rates and everything. Like lots of stocks have been set to go down for a while now. Honestly, I'll be honest, I'm not too surprised that we're falling off. Personally, I've been kind of calling it for a little bit, but technical patterns and stuff are almost impossible to just pick like market downtrends, but sometimes they play out right, and the technicals have been really working ever since the beginning of this year, honestly. Like we've been holding this upper trend line on the SPY, never broke above it, honestly hit right off of it again, right around 480. Ever since then, we've been slowly falling down, fell down below the bottom of that range, and ever since we fell below the bottom of the range on pretty much like January 20th, it's pretty much been a bear market ever since then. Honestly, it just has. It really has. It's been flying down below all these key supports, failing to go up, and people have been talking about the market selling off ever since then as well. I know that this year was set to be a down year. There was a lot of different statistics that suggested that. I don't know the exact ones in my mind. There was even some funny stuff that like said that because of who won the Super Bowl, the market was set to go down. Now that's obviously not why it's going down, but there was other statistics, for example, like if the market has a recovery like it did, for example, then it usually falls or something like that is what this, like more of what the statistics said. But yeah, either way, it's been a bad downtrend. I'm personally not too surprised that we're moving down this much, but it's definitely not good to see. What I will say is good though is today, for example, the SPY is kind of coming up a little bit. It's holding its ground. It's been all over the place like a heartbeat monitor, but the good news is that we're slowly settling up into the green. So I think that's really nice to see. I think that's it's good to see. Hopefully we come back up at least today and tomorrow. Even if we do keep selling off next week, a short-term uptrend would definitely be cool to see. Let's see. Bravo says, remember, market will bounce back one day. Not sure when. Yeah, definitely will. That's the thing. It will definitely come back one day. It's almost impossible to pick the bottom. So that's why averaging in is always good. And, it's like I said, it's almost impossible. But I will say, if you wait until the market starts going back up a little bit, sometimes you can try to, catch the bottom a little bit later rather than earlier. So like, for example, like rather than buying in right now, like it might be a little bit safer to maybe wait till you see the SPY form a nice support and then slowly start to move back up above 400 or something like that. There's always like weird ways you could try to play it out, but yeah, averaging in is going to be the way to go for sure. He says, think about that COVID drop. People got rich since then. If we see VIX again at 50 to 60, then I'm buying all the market I want. Yeah, I'm with you. If I see the VIX pop up to there again, I think I'll be buying it too, Bravo. And I will say, I want to talk about VIX for a second because I think VIX is very important to look at right now, guys. And if you guys haven't been looking at VIX lately, I think that I just think it's very important to pay attention right now for the next like 5 minutes. So looking at VIX here, look at this chart, okay? So look at the COVID move with VIX, okay? The VIX exploded, okay? We ran from, $16 or whatever it was up to highs of 84, okay? So now what's been happening this year is VIX has been it's been rising up little by little, as you can see by the bottom trend line here. So this bottom trend line is slowly moving to the upside. And I want to keep this in mind because look at how VIX has been holding on this trend line the past couple of years. It's been holding up very, very well. And what I want to point out is look at this previous trend line before the COVID move with VIX, okay? So VIX obviously had big moves in the middle of the year, but look what happened. We slowly got to the end of this wedge and finally broke out in a huge, huge way. Now, I'm not saying that this wedge is the reason why VIX went up, but you can see that it obviously played out perfectly. And what I want to point out is that it looks like that's happening again, okay? It's kind of playing out almost perfectly again, and we're starting to finally break out now above this trend line. Now, in my opinion, the current break above the trend isn't necessarily enough to make me say, hey, it's time to long VIX. Keep in mind, we broke slightly above the trend before the big COVID rise and then fell back down for a couple weeks before the big move really happened. So keep that in mind too. There's always slight fake outs here, and it's hard for it to go 100% within these parameters. But I will say, pay attention to this because it's a very big thing to look at. If the VIX starts squeezing out of this wedge, it could make for a huge move to the upside, okay? And if we see that, that'll probably mean that the market is selling off. And who knows how low the SPY is going to get. Some people earlier were saying 360. I'm personally thinking like 380. Some people probably think 350. I think 350 would be the lowest I would think it could go. At the lowest, it looks like there's another big support down around 325. I don't think we'll get there. Obviously, there's low chances of these moves happening, but everyone would have been saying at the beginning of the year there was a low chance of us hitting 400 now. So, keep that in mind too. So we have to keep that in mind that even though there's low chances, the low chance moves have been happening lately. So that's very important. But here's VIX. It's going to be terrible if we keep squeezing out of this. Like I said, Definitely keep this on your guys' radar. It's going to be a big thing. Even if we fall back down, just continue to watch this trend, because if we start breaking out of it, who knows? It might be a good time to maybe long UVXY or SPXS or something like that, just in case we do. Bravo says, if Putin invaded Finland, we see VIX at 60 maybe. Well, yeah, I mean, if he invades Finland, I mean, come on now. That would be nuts if he invades Finland. I mean, if he invades Finland, we might as well have World War III, in my opinion. That would be terrible. I don't think he'll do that. We'll have to see what happens there, but that's wow, that's really weird to even say, Bravo. Has there been like rumors of that lately or something? Definitely let me know in the comments if you've seen rumors of Putin invading Finland. That, I think if we saw that, you're right. We would definitely see VIX at 60, and I think the SPY would really fall off. Ukraine's a different story. Ukraine used to be Russia anyways. It was in the Soviet Union, and a lot of people there want to be Russian anyways. Like, a lot of men actually went to the Russian side, believe it or not. I know a lot didn't, but keep in mind some did. So it's weird, the history with like Ukraine and like Crimea and all those like weird areas regarding Russia. It's a lot different than Finland. Let's see. He threatened Finland, Sweden about not joining NATO. Okay, yeah, I heard that. Okay, I remember that. Bravo. Now that you mentioned it, I thought you meant like he came out today and maybe said there might be like a direct impact, or like, for example, he might directly go in or something. That would definitely be bad if he said that in a more direct way. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen though, and hopefully the market can recover back up. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, definitely hit me up with some of those likes. It looks like we're at 13 likes today. I think we got up to like 21 likes or something like that yesterday. Let's try to beat that number. 21 likes. I definitely am glad to see that, but we got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. In the voice of Matthew McConaughey, we got to start beating our chest like the Wolf of Wall Street here. But yeah, definitely hit that like button if you haven't yet. It'll definitely help me out here. But so far today, these stocks are brutal, guys. If you guys have any stocks you want me to look at, definitely let me know. What's kind of cool is, I will say, a lot have been coming back up, I noticed. So AMC, look at this actually. AMC is bouncing off $10 and popping back. I mean, I don't know what came into them today, but they are flying back. Looks like the recovery is here, guys. Roblox right back up. Wow, look at this big move. I mean, 13%. Rivian now up 23%. We have Unity recovering up 14%. Will this finally be the bottom, guys? Look at SPCE up 6%. We definitely need more movement than this, though. These stocks were brutal. Wow, Asana came back. I'm glad to see that. They were looking awful this morning. So, wow, I'm really happy to see this movement back to the upside here. SPY better get on its horse. I mean, it needs to start recovering back up to like, if we could get back up to around 400 today, that would make for an amazing move. I think that's doable given all the volatility we've seen lately, but we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully these stocks keep recovering here. Even these safer stocks like KHC's moving up. Pepsi's looking decent. Walmart's still recovering. McDonald's moving well. So that's great. I mean, wow, the market is coming back pretty nicely here. Teladoc, wow, glad to see them up. Good old DraftKings up 5.6%. This is some pretty good movement, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this here. Yeah, George says GME. Let's check that out. Good old GameStop. Let's see here. GameStop up to 95. Holy crap. Look at the low on them. 77.77. Guys, could you imagine if you're playing the slot machine right now and you got all sevens? Wow, that's a very lucky number. I know this is a very lucky number given all these sevens. GameStop halted. Wow, it's halted, guys. That is insane. Yeah, DCM says, let's get the likes up. Definitely, let's do it. We're at 23 likes right now. I was at 13 when I just mentioned it. Let's try to hit 30 likes today if we can. That would definitely be awesome. So you guys still haven't hit that like button. We're 7 likes away from 30. That'd be a pretty nice goal to hit today. Yeah, Dina says like, LOL. Yeah, for sure. Bravo says, how do you like banks here? JP Morgan? Wow, hopefully the banks are moving up as well as some of these growth plays. Oh man, yeah, they're not looking too hot here, Bravo, and they're definitely not the best today. They are recovering up a little bit, but nothing like these growth plays. You know, it's been awesome with GameStop and AMC and everything like that. That's been great to see. So awesome numbers here. I can't believe that we're seeing them move up. But as far as banks, I don't know. They're not looking the best today. I'm sure they'll start popping up intraday a little bit, but I mean overall they've been really selling off. Bravo. I will say I believe that banks will be great for the longer term. Just keep in mind that we're going through a very weird economic cycle right now, and banks have not been liking the news lately. So maybe whenever rates get settled around 2%, maybe that'll be better. Oh, George says GME's unhalted. Let's go check that thing back out again. Oh, wow. It looks like it got unhalted and then got rehalted right away, back up right around $100. But yeah, George, halted again right at 100. So only unhalted for a second, it looks like. Look at the ask price, guys. 214,000. I mean, who's doing this? Who's putting in these ask prices? Is someone doing this just to like try to make just to try to freak out like the retail traders or something? Like, come on now. Like, let's see. Let's see this level 2. Yeah, 214,000 on the ask. Come on. That is that's way too high, guys. I mean, that is I can't believe somebody even has that in there. Like, could you imagine if there was an actual fill at 214,000? That would be nuts. I know that's not going to happen, but wow, that is I can't believe that's even there. I know that the bid and the ask is always crazy whenever halts happen, and it doesn't really mean anything. But I do feel like that with that ask being so high, I feel like now some retail traders are going to say, "Wow, GameStop's going to go up to 200,000 or something." You know, like I hope not, but yeah. Let's see. Manny Money says KO doesn't look bad. Let's check that out. Good old Coca-Cola. Wow, yeah, not too bad today. Kind of consolidating a little bit. Definitely not running up with some of these growth plays. I will say the KO daily chart isn't my favorite, Manny, but I will say they've been holding up very well lately, so kudos to them. I think they've done great, and they've been one of the best stocks to have in the market, so can't hit Coca-Cola too hard, but I will say I don't like this current setup. I believe it looks like Coke is going to dip down a little bit in the short term. That doesn't mean they're going to crash and burn, maybe only down to $62 or something, but I think I see a slight downtrend coming in the future with them. Dina says, what do you think about airlines? DAL, let's check it out. Delta Airlines here. Wow, they are really recovering up today after moving down in such a big way this morning. Looks like Boeing's coming back. Southwest is coming back too. That's great. So awesome to see these stocks coming back here. George just said AMD was up 20. Oh, AMC. Okay, you had me excited, George. I was really excited for a second if it was AMD. I was about to explode with happiness. I mean, it was if AMD was up 20%, I'd cry, but yeah, AMC up 23%, still moving up here. Is GameStop unhalted yet? Nope, not yet. I wonder how many more minutes. Probably just a couple on that one here, but let's see. AMC, yeah, that's a crazy move. We're back up to $13. We're moving right back up to a major resistance right around $13. I'm actually gonna throw that on the chart, right at 13 here, because that is an insane move up, guys. This is a huge day. Yeah, George, you had me overly excited for a second. I was so happy. Oh man. Yeah, let's hit the like button for AMC and GameStop though, you know. Maybe that's what it's been, guys. Ever since we started hitting the like button, you know, these stocks have been flying back up. Maybe that's all that the market needs is some nice renewed enthusiasm. George says he's very deep into AMD as well. Yeah, that's cool. I actually don't even own any AMD anymore, George. But George, I will tell you what's pretty disheartening with AMD for me is whenever I first started trading back in like 2016, I owned like $6,000 of AMD at like $9 a share, and I sold it at like $12, and now we hit highs of 164. If I just would have held that, George, I would have been so happy over the past 5 or 6 years. But whenever you're a new trader, you're always trying to get in and out of everything real fast, of course, as I was in the beginning. Ant says SPY is in the green. Wow, did we move back up? Let's see. Yeah, we're up 0.14%. Let's go, guys. That's awesome. Glad to see this movement. Wow, we're running right up. I will say we're running right into resistance, though, so be a little bit careful. I'm not sure that we're going to, necessarily continue up all day long here, but it's awesome to see this movement now. There's a big resistance right around 395, and I have another one right around 394, so be a little careful of that, but it is pumping. Glad to see that. I'm sure the NASDAQ is up a little bit more. Yeah, here's the QQQ up 0.37%. Wow, this is great, guys. Glad to see this movement. This is making for some amazing opportunities here today. This has been awesome. Yeah, George says it's with our mistakes that we learn. Yeah, for sure. It's always important too to just sometimes have some longer term stocks you're holding. As we all know, during this recent downtrend, they don't always go up, but if you go ahead and you buy some safer stocks at some good levels, you can now have some pretty good movement. Wow, GameStop unhalted. Let's see that. Yeah, there we go. Wow, oh, it unhalted and rehalted again. It keeps doing that, those quick 1 minute. Wow, look at that. Every time it like unhalts. Let's see how much it ran up after the past halt. Let's see. So it unhalted, ran up a nice 8%, and then rehalted again. So that's hilarious. But what's happening today, guys? Like what is going on? Are the shorts covering? I mean, are we seeing shorts cover today? Is that what's going on? Because like GameStop was like right at lows. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised here if we're seeing some shorts covering. Let's see here. Good old AMC. Hopefully these stocks keep moving though. I'd hope AMC can get back up to 14. The thing that I don't like is that, yes, sure, AMC is up a lot, but we're only up to the high of 2 days ago. That's the only thing I don't like to see with it, is that we need a lot more movement to the upside to really justify a huge move. Bravo says, did you see IWM? Wow, IWM is really coming up. Yeah, 1.27%. Makes sense. Yeah, it's really moving up today. So that's awesome to see with them. Yeah, the QQQ's up 0.2%. Both have like pretty good intraday recovery moves going on. So that's nice. SPY's now back in the red, guys. It's like right around even, so we'll have to see where it ends up. Raymond puts some mooses and some bears. Yeah, definitely there. So AMC, that's just insane to see how these stocks keep moving, guys. That is nuts. How about GameStop? Let's see it when this one unhalts this time. This will be a pretty interesting move. It'll probably unhalt in just a couple minutes here. Let's see, when was this candle? 9:25. Probably got like 3 minutes. Let's see. 9:25. Yeah, probably got like 3 more minutes left on that one. So, wow, I can't believe this movement. Definitely let me know in the comments if you guys are seeing any other stocks moving, because I know sometimes these other stocks like to short squeeze, or I guess I shouldn't say short squeeze, but they like to move up a little bit with some of these other stocks like GameStop and stuff like that a little bit too. Kind of like Nokia, for example, and BlackBerry, maybe. Look at BB, actually. Guys, BlackBerry's not looking bad. It's up 3.4%. That's not too bad. I like that. Let's see. Trading Lifestyle says, I hate this move up. No reason for it to be up. I'm a bear right now. Yeah, I know. I'm with you, Peter. Just keep in mind that while the market's up, it's not truly up. Like if we're being honest with ourselves, the market's not really up that much at all. Here, I'm going to go to a 90-day 5-minute chart just so we can kind of show. So, sure, the market's up a little bit. We have the SPY popping up. But just keep in mind, we're only up to the low of yesterday. Like, we're not even up to the opening price of yesterday at all. Like nowhere even close. So that's still not bad at all. Snowy says, I like your live streaming. Please do this every day. For sure, Snowy. We'll be here every single day. Just check us out right at Market Open. If you know anybody else that would like the stream too, just let them know. We'll be here right at Market Open every day. So thanks for the nice comment. But yeah, the SPY, as it's coming up, it's not up too much. It's just coming up right up to resistance. I have a huge resistance actually right where the SPY is hitting today. right around 394. And then after that, I have another huge resistance at 395 that I think could end up holding. So, personally, I just think it's normal price action. Like the SPY sold off so much yesterday that I think it just has to come up just a little bit in the short term, and it's kind of like a bit of a bear trap. It happened yesterday too. Like look at the SPY in pre-market. I'm sure that when the market opened, a ton of traders just opened up a ton of put positions and then got destroyed when the market flew up there. It seems like the market's been doing that a lot lately, where it fakes out and then moves down like maybe later in the day and stuff like that. So, that's definitely a big thing there. Yeah, and Snowy, we're going for 30 likes today too. We're at 28 likes, only 2 likes away from the goal of 30. So if we get there, I'll probably go pretty crazy today, along with AMC and GameStop. Can't believe that these stocks are getting this insane. GameStop set to open back up here in just a second. Let's see. Yeah, it should be opening up any second now, back to the upside. Or I should say it should unhalt any second. I'm curious to see if this halt will go up or down. Wow, it looks like initially we have a big red candle here, and it's kind of slowing down. Let's look at that level 2, maybe a little bit too, really quickly. Yeah, maybe not the level 2. Let's look at that time and sales. Maybe that'll be a better way to eye this up. Did it halt again? Man, it instantly halts. This is it's so funny. It comes onto the market, trades for 10 seconds, and then rehalts again. Like this is hilarious to see. 29 likes. We're only 1 away from 30, guys. Only 1. Who knows? Maybe if we hit 30 likes, maybe AMC will go back up to $30, guys. Who knows? No, I'm just joking. That probably won't happen. But either way, yeah, it's really pulling back now. Actually, AMC is at least. Looks like GameStop also kind of pulled back here on that last little report. So, or on that last little unhalting. So that's pretty crazy. But they are probably going to come back down a little bit now after coming up. That is kind of funny, though, that GameStop started flying up after hitting 77. That is a huge, huge price point. And oh my gosh, we got to 30 likes, guys. Thank you so much. So glad to see you guys supporting the stream and everything like that. Thank you guys so much for joining up today. We've had some crazy stocks moving, and man, to hit 30 likes is awesome. I'm not sure that we've hit 30 likes in a long time. So thank you guys so much. That's awesome to see here. And stocks are going insane today. I'm so glad to see stocks trying to come up, at least like DraftKings and a lot of the growth plays today. Even good old GameStop and AMC. You gotta love that. Even like BlackBerry was moving up with them. So that's awesome. But yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure being here this morning. It's been a great day in the market, to say the least. I mean, this has been an awesome day so far. Initially it was looking brutal again, like we had a lot of these stocks like ChargePoint, RUN, and stocks like that making new lows actually. But really, I'm glad to see the buyers come back. I don't know what's happening right here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like, do you guys think that shorts are covering on some of these stocks and that's why they're moving back up today? Or do you think maybe just buyers are coming in? It's kind of hard to try to pinpoint exactly what's happening, because I'm sure that there's been a lot of like institutions and funds that are making a lot of money on these stocks as they fall, and they were making in a lot of cases new lows, like on ChargePoint and Zoom and stocks like that. They've been making new like yearly lows. So who knows? It could be shorts covering, but I'll take the movement either way. It's been making for some amazing price action, especially today. If you guys caught the bottom on anything, or if you guys caught any of these plays up, hopefully you guys had some great moves, because it's been making for some great price action. I'm sure that some of these options have been going insane today. I'm going to find a random play that recovered here. Like, let's just pick Shopify, for example. Like, they had new lows this morning of 308. Now they're at 343. I'm going to check them out really quickly here on the chart. So Shopify, I'm just going to go to some May 20th. So next week expiration calls on Shopify. And like, let's just show here like how some of these calls could be doing. So these are the 340 calls on Shopify. You can see that they opened up today somewhere around like $12, so like $1,200. Now they're running up to highs of like 2,600. They're up 100%. So yeah, I mean, you guys could have definitely caught some pretty good intraday moves with some of these options on the way up if you could have timed it right today, as we can see with Shopify. And I'm sure there's a few other stocks that are looking kind of like this. Peloton's even coming up today, which is awesome. I know they were also kind of getting destroyed over the past couple days with their earnings, and it's nice to see them kind of recover up today a little bit. That's definitely making for some nice movement there. Fubo is up in the green, which is nice. I know Vicky used to like Fubo quite a bit. So Vicky, if you're still here, definitely let me know in the chat how you feel about Fubo today, because man, it's been FUBAR the past couple months, but I'm glad it's been coming back up. So hopefully Fubo keeps recovering. It's making for some nice obviously maybe it'll be a good longer term pickup soon, if as long as Fubo does well as a company. I will say their fundamentals were looking a little bit brutal, but then again, so are DraftKings and a lot of other companies. But yeah, so far today, guys, great price action. Glad to see the market coming back up a little bit. Looks like the SPY is slowly moving back down now. Like I said, we did get really, really close to that resistance of 394 on the SPY. So we're probably going to be consolidating for a little bit. Snowy says, keep it up. We love you. Thanks. I love you guys too. Couch says, thanks. Vicky says, yeah, we are here for you like you are for us. So yeah, definitely. I'm here for you guys. You guys need any stocks covered, just let me know. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on those. George says Lucid's now up 11%. Let's see that. LCID. Yeah, wow, yeah, it's up 10%, was 11 a minute ago. It's still up above $15, so that's pretty big there with good old Lucid. Rivian's up 20% still, so wow, that is great to see, guys. This is pretty big to see the market, moving up in such a big way like this. I can't believe that these growth plays are coming up this much. Even stocks like, I guess you don't want to call them growth stocks, but they've been kind of falling down like growth stocks lately. Stocks like Facebook are coming up awesome too today. Netflix, I know that'll make Mike really happy that Facebook's moving good, so that's nice. And like I said, it's been brutal the past couple of weeks, so hopefully Facebook can start to recover back up to around $200. That would definitely be a nice level to look at, maybe for a nice target level if we do continue up with these uptrends today. I wonder if those banks are coming back. Let's see. Bank of America. Yeah, still tried, but nothing too crazy. Just keep in mind, guys, even those stocks are up here intraday, they might not keep going up. Some of them can fall back. Obviously, Roblox. I can't believe the explosion Roblox had today, and then it came roaring right back, of course. But just keep in mind the market's volatile, so if you're seeing stocks move big in one direction, chances are it'll probably turn around a little bit, at least by market close. So always keep that in the back of your mind. But I really appreciate you guys joining up today. Manny says, I'm bullish going into next week. Peter says, Yellen said inflation is #1 issue moving forward. Might get a downside turn here soon. Yeah, I'm not surprised Yellen said that, Peter. I'm glad she said that, to be honest. I think she's kind of being more realistic here, whereas Powell, was kind of being a little bit over, I guess I could say like over dovish, like he needed to be a little bit more hawkish than he has been, like he always tries to make the market go up, it seems like, as much as he can, which is good, but in the end though, it causes for like big corrections and big crashes. So like, for example, instead of the SPY going straight up for 2 years, like this, it made for a really nice recovery, obviously, which was great. But instead of that happening, like, for example, we could have started raising rates in like March of last year, for example. And then as the economy got better and jobs numbers got better and stuff, then obviously then we just could keep raising rates, as the market went up. But if we would have raised rates in March, for example, we might have had a little bit more of a pullback, I'm not saying it would be a huge pullback, but, I think that if they just would have steadily been raising rates, we just would have seen like a slight pullback, slight pullback, and we might still be like on a nice uptrend, just a nice like slow and steady uptrend, rather than a huge recovery. Now we're going to see a huge crash, and that's, I hate that Powell did that. with the way he was transitory and everything. And some people speculate that was him trying to get reelected back as the obviously the Fed chairman. So that's obviously another reason why he might have been doing that. But still, I mean, you would think that they would kind of talk as an FOMC, as a collective, and then they would say, hey, you know, maybe we should raise rates a little bit sooner. But I don't know why they waited so long. Transitory slowly turned into inflation exploding. So I don't know. Hopefully they can combat it, guys. But really, I appreciate you guys so much for joining up today. I see we ended here at 33 likes. So I really appreciate it. I never expected to get to 33 likes today. So you guys are awesome. Glad to see you guys really helping me out here. Guy says Ride seems to be moving big. RIDE. RIDE, good old Lordstown Motors. Yeah, wow, they are recovering up. Looks like they're kind of moving up with Lucid and Rivian there, Guy. So that's great. Glad to see Ride moving up there. That's awesome. I wonder how Fisker's doing, or good old FSR. Yeah, even Fisker's coming up 9.2%. So good call out, Guy. I kind of forgot about good old Lordstown Motors. I know they should be pretty good, you know, as an EV company. They obviously still have a long way to go, but hopefully they end up doing better over the next couple years. I know a lot of these companies are set to do a lot better with production and stuff. As we've heard with Rivian's earnings this morning, they had awesome numbers with production. So, or at least their outlook is good for the production. Not the current numbers, but their outlook and their pre-orders are pretty great. They're expecting to produce 25,000 cars this year, which for a company like Rivian, that sounds pretty good. You know, it's definitely better than Lucid's numbers, like I said. So, yeah, thank you there. Thank you there, Guy, for that one. Square says simple joy of getting the likes. Yeah, I guess it is. But yeah, I really appreciate it. You know, those likes are gonna really help the channel too, and everything like that. So it'll help the channel grow. Like I said, I'm looking to do a lot of different things with these live streams. Like eventually, I'm gonna be, you know, getting a green screen here and you know, adding my face in, and you know, who knows, maybe like creating like a cool like little studio, and then we can get a lot of stuff going. We might start going live like while Powell speaks and during different types of market events if you guys want. So, you know, getting more likes and stuff like that and more viewers definitely helps us, you know, have the motivation to do that. So I really appreciate it, and hopefully, you know, the channel keeps growing here. But thank you guys for joining up this morning. Hopefully the stream helped you out a little bit. I know the SPY and some of these stocks were recovering up pretty well. Glad to see DraftKings up. It's a pretty good day so far, as long as they keep moving. So thank you guys for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, hopefully these stocks keep moving up for us.